Hey, everybody. Good morning and welcome back to the ChatGTM podcast. I'm your host, Michael Beck, back with another episode of our show. Joined with me, as almost always, is my business partner, one of my best friends, somebody I trust more than anybody out there just because he's probably one of the best guys I know, Mr. Chad Hornmore. And Chad, I know is a long intro
Forget
for you, but
co-host. Right now, I'm your
co-host. You're
There
my
you go.
co-host.
And
That's
here
right.
we are, back on a Tuesday that feels like a Monday because yesterday was President's Day, and just seems like holiday after holiday this past few days.
I had no idea it was a long weekend either. Like I lose track of that stuff, you know? We had Valentine's Day on Saturday, and then we had my 55th birthday on Sunday. I turned officially a senior citizen. I think the joke we said before is AARP has been stalking me through the bushes for the last couple of years. They keep sending those mailers. I think I'm finally going to answer.
And I kept telling you, like, they got to raise the number of who they consider AARP because people are working longer.
I am definitely not retiring anytime soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us and thank you for being part of our audience. We've been doing this for a while now and we've been blessed to have some really good guests on this show. We have people that are luminaries in our industry. We have people that are clients of ours. We have people that are doing really interesting things in the marketplace. And I would argue that the people that are coming on today are among them. And so today we're going to be talking to Ramsey and Jamie Gilbertsen of Budget Branders, the co-founders of Budget Branders, the company helping restaurants, bars, and coffee shops level the playing field with custom branded disposables from cups to napkins without breaking the bank, right? Alongside with his wife, Jamie, who's also on the call here. Ramsey is transforming how small businesses compete with big chains, combining their smart strategy with hands-on industry experience. And today we're going to dive into their personal story and the hybrid program they created and why every food and beverage business should care about branding, cost efficiency, and customer experience. I hope I nailed that read in. I've started doing these recently. Does that sound like you guys, Ramsey and Jamie? Welcome to the show.
No, that's not us at all, Beck.
I know it's not us. I know it's them. But guys, welcome to the podcast. And I'm really excited to have you here for so many reasons. How are you today?
Good. Thank you so much for having us. Happy belated birthday, too.
Thank you very much. So you guys were out here, was it 2 weeks ago now? Like,
yeah.
It just flew by.
A couple weeks already, but yeah, it seems like it was just yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. And so since I saw you guys you've been on the road. You went up to Orlando to a show and did some work up there. And, we met at the QSR Evolution conference earlier last year. And, Ramsey, you were on the pod then. And, what really hit me is your character. You're kind of a different guy. You're a man of faith. You're a man of values, kind of a humble guy. I love those things about you. What the world might not know that I'm happy to share is you guys took me to my first church service when you came to town in 40 years.
Yay.
Oh, wow. 40 years.
It was 40 years. I don't know if to the day, but it was 40 years since I'd set foot in a service. And I really enjoyed that opportunity. Our show is about people, and the things that they're doing in the marketplace. And when I find somebody or a couple or a group that are original and different, I love that. And I see that in you guys completely. And I thought that was just such a treat to have you guys over and spend time with you, especially, gotta show you my manatees.
I love that you call them your manatees.
They are my manatees. I protect them. I have a big loud bullhorn when people go by too fast to tell them you're going too quickly. In fact, I had to record a voice recording on it because I get a little emotional if they're going too fast through the waterway. So I want to do something nice instead of really just yelling at them.
Sure.
No question. Those manatees know you, right?
Yes, they do.
For sure.
Yes, they do. They come by, they show me their little pups. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the next step.
Yep.
So, but I think to start talking about me here, let's talk about you guys. So Ramsey, I'm going to start with you, and this is kind of a different format. Normally we have just one guest, but this is kind of special. We have two, so we got to make sure we spread the love around here. And so as we go, feel free to either one of you chime in or slap the buzzer. But Ramsey, tell me a little bit about your story, or tell us a little bit about your story. You and Jamie got together back, was it college?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. Yeah, we met in college and friends at first and more than friends after that, as it sometimes goes, not always. Boys get lucky once in a while. You can't escape the friend zone. It does happen. But after that, we moved down to Florida, your neck of the woods, Beck.
Mm-hmm.
We were in Tampa for a little while. We both got jobs down there. one thing led to another. We started a French fry and chicken wing restaurant, and we quickly figured out that there wasn't a lot of support for people like us. One location, just establishments that weren't doing terribly high volumes. Looking for custom branded packaging was borderline impossible. Nobody wanted to give you 10,000, 25,000 of anything. It was either pay top dollar and get them made 100 at a time from a promotional website, or order 100,000 of them and put them in your garage for 15 years. Those are kind of the two options. So we
Well, was
pivoted.
there a defining moment, like when you're sitting there just going, man, our supplier let us down? Like what really kicked that off?
Yeah, so we were looking for somewhat of a specialty item at first. It was a custom branded French fry cone. So if you've been to Europe and had the frites over there,
Don't get me started.
yeah, right, they're amazing. They're delicious. A bunch of delicious garlic mayos and all that. But
You got me started. Keep going.
yep, too late.
Chad, come in over here for a sec.
The problem you're solving and the problem you're describing, Ramsey, and is something I've experienced on a micro level. I go to Costco, right, and they're already selling things in bulk. But if something good that we already get anyway is on sale, it's like, we're getting, what's the max? We can get 10 of these. We're getting 10 of these, and then I bring them home, and then I find myself I'm going to fight with my wife. That we're not a freaking warehouse here, right? So I imagine that's similar to what a lot of restaurants find themselves in. Like, oh man, we get such a better rate if we order this quantity, but do we want a wall of cups in the back of our restaurant? It's
Hey.
talk about that dynamic. What in the real world, what are restaurants actually debating?
Yeah, well, back in 2019, when the company started, that was exactly your two options. It was either, rent space in your basement and fill up your garage to the ceiling with all this product, or pay $1 per cup, what have you, for the promotional items. And so we learned how to solve that. We started serving restaurants with 10,000 minimums, which is pretty much par for the course anymore here in 2026. But at the time, there wasn't really anybody doing it. And that's how we got off the ground. We started importing initially, have our own factory, which you can see in the background back there. It is running today. If you can hear
That's
it, I
not an AI
apologize,
background?
but no, no, not yet. Maybe in a couple years, it'll be all humanoid robots back there.
Lord.
But for now, we have real people.
I'm going to take this on a personal side of things as we talk about you guys. I started our business about 1.5 years ago. And when I did, I started with my wife. And the first thing people said to me was, good luck with that.
I
And
hear
I
that
didn't
so
understand.
often.
I didn't understand. And I'll say it one more time. I didn't understand. I'm like, what's so hard about that, working with my wife? This is my buddy, my boon companion. But how do you guys navigate that? Because I think people are probably interested in if you're a couple and you're working together, right? What's that like? How's that dynamic work? How do you leave that behind when you get home? Or do you? Right?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I hear that all the time. I just think for us, it's just easy and it just works. We really like to spend time together. So it's honestly, we have different roles in the company.
Mm-hmm.
I handle a lot of the sales with our customers, and Ramsey handles larger things. So we don't often overlap in our roles, but as far as maybe on the weekends or evenings, we are really good about shutting work off
Mm-hmm.
and we love to have fun and be active, and we just go about our day, and we're able to make that distinction and just shut work off. So it's really nice in that way.
Ramsey, also question to you. Is it like, I imagine, that fun of planning the future, mapping it out together and doing your path. Is that something you guys do together? Like, here we are now, here's where we want to take this. Is it kind of mission oriented?
Yeah, it definitely is. And one thing about that is we try not to get too caught up in it. We try not to look, you have to have a plan for the future, of course, but you also have to take a moment and appreciate where you've gotten to already and just the journey that you've been on so far. So it's definitely a mix of both.
So since you guys, before you were doing Budget Branders, were operating a restaurant, which is pretty extreme experience in and of itself, what was the biggest learning or thing you had to figure out transitioning from running a restaurant to doing what you're doing now?
It's a good question. Do you have a good answer for that, Jamie?
I think an easy thing, or something that I definitely don't take for granted with budget branders. When we had our restaurant, it was a lot of nights and weekends, and Ramsey and I worked complete opposite schedules. I worked in the morning shifts, he worked the evening shifts, and that was on weekends as well. We worked 7 days a week. So with budget branders, getting to be able to work together is such a huge blessing. And maybe that's why it works for us. But that's definitely a positive.
Yeah, you're not living asynchronous lives, right? You're actually in it together now.
Right. Yes. And we're able to plan together and go forward together.
Thinking a little bit about that, how do your, and either one of you chime in on this, but how do your personal values shape the way that you run your business and serve your clients?
Yeah, I think the short answer is that they completely shape those things, whether you want them to or not. Your values are going to flow through in every possible way. They're going to show up when there's a problem. They're going to show up in how you treat customers and vendors and everybody else you interact with. So I don't think it's really a conscious effort. It's just, that's true for everybody. Who you are as a person is going to show up whether you want it to or not.
Help me understand. So I even now, like I think I have a sense, but I would want to ask it here. Where do you guys fit on the competitive spectrum? Because in my head,
Ooh.
the large giants, right? They probably win and compete on logistics and price, and the smaller guys probably more on service and design. Where do you fit in the market, and what gap are you filling?
He's always got the good questions.
Yeah. So at the moment, we're filling the gap between the cost of domestic production and the headache of importing. So that's a great segue into our hybrid program, which is something that we just launched. It's targeted at small to mid-sized chains, and that's primarily what it accomplishes. It lets us do a bulk of our production overseas to keep cost as low as humanly possible. And then when any bumps arise, we use the factory, that we're sitting at right now in the background to fill any other orders. And it's kind of a unique offering. So it lets us be a lot more inexpensive than the big major players at the moment, while also providing a lot more flexibility than they can.
So to clarify on that, so the hybrid program, walk us a little bit more through like what is it and how does it differentiate from traditional supply chain solutions? Where is that real differentiation?
Yeah, for sure. So in the traditional models, you pretty much have two options. You can either get everything produced domestically, which is great. Short lead times, quality is top notch all the time, but the cost is high. You don't realize any benefits of utilizing overseas production. So that's option one. Option two is importing everything, and that gets you cheap prices, but there's problems. Stuff gets stuck. They have holidays that don't align with our holidays. Customs looks at your shipment for a couple weeks. You don't get it. If you have demand that spikes, you're 3 or 4 months away from getting new product. So our program, it provides access to both solutions at once. It's pretty unique.
What are one of the worst or most interesting stories? We've all heard about supply chain issues, tariffs, etc. This probably goes beyond that. Some of the things you shared. What are some of the stories you've heard about brands dealing with? Oh, crap! Right, we're out of this, and it causing problems.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even have to look outside budget branders to tell you a good story on that one. So before we had this factory, which is somewhat new, we've had it for about 2 years now, we were completely servicing our customers using the import-only method. And of course, that all works great for a while until it doesn't. COVID happened, everything's backed up, the factories are closed, and one of our bigger customers, they have a whole container of product that they need yesterday. And it's still in China. It's not 2 weeks away. It's not 4 weeks away. It is 3 months away. They are not happy. What is your recourse in that situation? For us, the only thing you can do is fly it over on a plane. So we flew more or less an entire container's worth of product over on a plane during COVID, tens of thousands of dollars it costs just in shipping.
Did you make money on that exchange?
No, we did not. No, not only did we not make money, we lost a lot of money. So
Well,
instead of
Gene-
spending all that money on air shipping,
yeah.
we decided we're not doing that anymore. We're going to build a factory that can service that demand.
I would also add that I think both of us are really good at communicating with our customers. So if something is delayed or something comes up, we're always going to give them that heads up. And I think the customers are used to that, which is good. We have a great relationship with a lot of our customers, so we really like to have them in the know. That way we try and not have those bad surprises if we can help it.
And you'd mentioned before about holding massive amounts of inventory when you do these advanced purchases. Is there a way that their suppliers can get that product from, like, their distributors can hold that for them and bring it to them? How's that work when they want to get their orders?
Yeah, so the bigger chains are going to have a forecast, and we're going to be able to work mostly on that. And then we keep a huge amount of blank inventory, which is a lot more efficient than keeping. So, if you have 10 customers, for example, and they all need a couple 100,000 cups in reserve to prevent against supply chain disruptions, that's going to take up a lot of space and that's going to cost a lot. So what we're doing is we're keeping several 100,000 of blank items on our shop floor, and that's ready to go. We can fire up the machine and brand them to whatever the customer needs should there be a problem.
We were just talking about this the other day, Chad, about branding of cups and the marketing aspects of it. Jamie, why do you think branding and custom disposables matter so much for small restaurants and bars?
That's a great question. It elevates the, I guess, quality of whatever they're serving, no matter what. Same cup of coffee, but if you're serving it out of a blank, clear cup versus, very nice cup with your logo, that's automatically going to bring that cup of coffee from a $3 cup of coffee to a $6 or $7 coffee. The perceived value from the customer just goes that much higher right away.
And actually, Chad, I remember what we were talking with Alan Beck about the catering workshop, right? And he was talking about the importance of branded goods, because once that leaves the four walls of your building, now you have no visibility to your actual brand. And so now that's actually part of your storefront that you're taking to the caterings and the drop-offs and the deliveries, so they know who it's coming from, right?
Yeah. And I
And
just
it's
think
such a cheap form of advertising as well. You
Yeah.
can't get cheaper than that.
over the last week and a half, people in my family, they go to Starbucks and there's this new cup. I haven't gotten it myself, but like it's like a varsity style. It's just really cool. You might have seen it, but they are like it becomes topic of conversation back at the house, right? And so you get the right packaging, it definitely elevates the brand.
Yes.
Good.
Because I wanted to ask about this, because this is something I have no idea, but back to blue and the conversations we have around, and there's a shift towards brands being more eco-conscious in their packaging.
Could be contentious.
There's still need for the standard plastics, and brands do that. So I'm curious if you offer anything hybridized around that, right? If a brand says, well, we need some eco-friendly lines, some compostable type products and standard plastic products, is that something you can help them with?
Or is that realistic at scale and budget? Because sometimes these eco-friendly products are way more expensive, right?
Yeah, there's certainly things that we can do to help with that. I have a couple somewhat controversial takes, I would say, on PLA, but people in the know, if you know, you know. PLA, it's not really compostable, is the simple way to say it. They say it is. If you can get it to a commercially composting facility, sure. I think last time I checked, there were 9 of them in the entire country. Your PLA stuff is not ending up there. It's going to the landfill. So it's not really any different. When companies want to do an eco line, we steer them to PET plastic, which is the most commonly recyclable plastic in the country. It kind of gets a bad reputation just because it is single use. But if you have to pick the most eco-friendly option, I think it is PET clear cups.
Yeah, some of the things that we see, Chad, is a lot about education and teaching people better habits too, right? And there's some documentaries about recycling that the truth is sometimes it's easier and smarter just to have a good landfill program, make sure everything goes in the right place too. So there's a balance. Off that subject though, I always like to do some myth busting, right? What's a myth or a common misconception about ordering custom disposables for small businesses you'd love to dispel? Jamie.
That's a good one. I think we covered it earlier that you don't have to order 50,000 or 100,000, that we can help those smaller companies.
Yeah. Is that what surprises your customers when you're talking to them? Like, hey, it's not as bad as you think?
A lot of them, yes. I do a lot of cold outreach, and when I tell people the minimums, they're like, "Oh, I can handle that. I can store 10 cases of cups. That's not a problem."
And I'm sorry, Chad, I'm now my head's popcorning a little bit here. Because one of the things we met at a trade show and we're planning with you kind of your journey this year in Q1 and Q2 and the stops you're going to make. What are the events that you're excited to go to or you're looking at that we're going to be able to see you at?
Yeah, in the short term, we have the RFIS show coming up. So yeah, that's going to be a good one. I think that's out in San Diego, so you can find us there. We will be walking around the NRA show, which that's going to be a big one. We have several other events kind of on the docket that we're sorting through, but yeah, we are not going to be hard to find this year. We're going to be just about everywhere.
Love it. Chad?
We've talked about some of the benefits of custom branded items, but what's like the benefit that is the most underappreciated of getting custom branded products in the restaurant?
What do you think, Jamie?
I think how easy it is today. I think that especially Ramsey and I, we make it so easy for our customers. Ramsey does all the artwork. We're in touch with them every single step of the way. And I think we just try and make it as seamless of a process as possible for them.
So let's
Easy
talk
is
about
good.
So let's talk about that turnaround, right? We love the idea of budget branders. We love the idea of the hybrid program. Talk to me about that onboarding from the moment we decide to work together, the moment I see my cups in my store. How's that work?
Sure. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward. A lot of the companies that we are serving now, they have pre-existing artwork. If you don't, we're more than happy to take care of that and help you get that going. That's getting the artwork finished and signed off on, and then you send us your forecasting and we get to work on it. It's really that really is not oversimplifying it. That's what it is. I think it commonly is viewed as a giant headache to switch vendors on something like that. It's really not.
And to get to my doorstep, what's that timing look like typically? I know sometimes it depends on supply chain, but hey, when from the moment I put my order into when I would see that.
Yeah, sure. So normally during the transition, we're going to get you a quick start by manufacturing everything here in our factory until we get the overseas operation established. The overseas normally takes about 2 to 3 months to get that rolling, but we have product coming off our line as fast as 7 days.
Wow.
So if you're in a hurry or in a bind, if your current vendor is kind of dropping the ball on something, we can pick up almost immediately before we get the full production kind of transitioned to the hybrid program.
So that is kind of magical. Go ahead, Chad.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just thinking about the kind of brands you're going to run into at RFIS, NRA, and any other shows. There's going to be a big range, right? So if you could sign up 100 customers tomorrow, what's the profile? Is it a 5-unit coffee shop, 50-unit boba chain? Who's perfect?
Feel free to give named shout outs too if you want to be bold.
Yeah, sure. Big B, if you're watching, I'm here. The phone operators are standing by. We are ready.
Right in Michigan.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Big B, we're practically neighbors. Come find me. Yeah, coffee chains, of course, are great. Juice chains, acai bowl places, primarily round container users, which is those folks.
Okay, we know a few of those guys.
Yes, we do. Josh Halpern, Big Chicken, putting a shout out to you, by the way. We want to introduce you folks. There's a plant behind you, right? And I think this is something that I the moment I met you, this is one of the things that really stood out, that you actually have a shop here that you invested in, not a place, just a warehouse, but to manufacture, and you've created some jobs for some people there. That had to be a big decision that you were going to actually go and create a facility, get the printing machines and spin this up. Like, talk to me about what it was like to, you have a factory, you have a plant, right? Like how'd that even happen?
Yeah, in hindsight, as I'm sitting here, it feels completely natural, but until you consider the fact that 5 years ago I was sitting in the mall at my French fry and chicken wing restaurant. It certainly is a bigger leap when you look at it from
Yeah.
that perspective. But in my mind, it was one of those things where I didn't really have a choice. I told the story of where I paid all that money to satisfy a customer with air freight. And that there smaller variations of that has happened through the years. And I just didn't want to be exposed to that anymore. I think our customers feel the same way. So we wanted some protection. We wanted some resources that we could control. I didn't want 100% of our production being somewhere that I couldn't influence it. So it was something that had to happen.
And had you had experience with the printing and stuff before? I mean, if I've worked with other companies that, dye sublimation printing and these big elaborate machines out of Germany or wherever they make these things, like how'd you go about deciding what machine and what kind of equipment are you using? What's the throughput on these things?
Yeah, great question. So no, we had no experience at all, but you got to start somewhere. We got a giant Van Dam dry offset printing press, which was we went and we saw it in the Netherlands. That was a fun trip. We went to do the field acceptance test over there. It was great. But so it's a beast. It will crank these things out at 400 cups a minute if you want them to. So we can. The theoretical max on one of these machines is about 250,000 cups in a day. So yeah, we're ready to handle anything really.
And is it only one color? Can you do multiple colors? Like what are your options on that, Jamie?
Yeah, there's a few options. Typically, we do for our domestic printing where Ramsey is at, we do 1 to 2 color print for our minimum of 10,000. And then for some of our customers who order larger amounts, 50,000 and plus per size, we can do 3 and 4 colors for them.
Wow. And that's all the same machine. That's one run. I imagine it slows it down a little bit, or is that same production speed?
It's the same production speed. It is a little more to get it set up, but once you get it going, it's going.
Wow. Chad?
Curious how big you think this program could get based on the conversations you've had with brand, your analysis of the market. What does this grow to in the next few years?
Yeah, I honestly think it could go all the way. I think we can compete with Dart Solo. I think we can compete with Pactive. I think with the way that we are providing the customers with the product is unique, and they don't have a quick answer to be able to do it the way that we do. So sky's the limit, really. There is no limit to the upside.
Chad, I'm going to steal your...
that have 10 plus locations that they're in that size. I think we're in the perfect position to help those chains because they're struggling maybe with their growth, and we can help them streamline all of their branded products for them. We're in such a great position to do that, and I think that's going to be a natural next step for us.
So Chad, I'm stealing your question today.
A question?
You know the question.
I think I do.
Especially these two, right? Is what's the real? Where do you find joy in what you're doing? I mean, clearly you guys find joy in each other, right? But where do you find joy in what you're doing today in your business? What brings the most happiness?
I'll go first. I would say I am just so grateful to be able to work with Ramsey. That's where I find the joy. I don't know if it matters what we're doing, just as long as we can do it together, as savvy as that sounds.
Hey, that's beautiful.
It's true, though. I mean, that's where I find my joy. Especially, I love that he wants to go to the factory. And I love when he works from home, too. So it's just as long as we can do it together.
Same question to you, Ramsey.
Yeah, well, I just also want to verify that what Jamie just said is 100% true, and I can prove it. So it wasn't... So we do talk about this from time to time still, but it really wasn't that long ago. So it was when we had Fry Nation, which was our French fry and chicken wing restaurant. Believe it or not, one of Jamie's chief responsibilities was to clean the deep fryers. So that is messy. I'm sure anybody listening to this in food service has at least been around that. It is nasty. It is gross. But she did it.
That trap.
That is the lowest level of tasks, is cleaning the grease trap.
Yeah.
She did a little bit of that too, but to her point, she was happy doing it. I'm sure. I can't believe she didn't question any of her life choices.
Not that she told you.
Right?
Yeah.
She had some in partner selection. I'm sure she was double thinking that at the moment, but no, she always did it with a smile. And now that now that we're running this business, I think she's spot on. As long as we're doing it together, then it's all fun.
Chad, I have to make up a new question.
I feel like we're on date night and not a podcast. So this is the
Well, happy Valentine's
where to
Day.
go from here.
My face hurts. I've been smiling this whole time. I can't. Chad?
Well,
What's
I
your
mean, so you're going to be at a lot of events, right? So what kind of conversations do you want to have with folks at these various shows that they're going to see at?
Yeah, I think they're going to be pretty straightforward conversations. I'd like to ask them how they're doing, how they are fulfilling their packaging at the moment, and are they happy, 100% satisfied with their current vendors? And if not, I'll tell them what we have to offer, and hopefully they like it.
It feels like there's a common pain there, right? Like they ran out of cups, they had to go to Costco, whatever the case may be. Is there anything else if somebody's going to self-identify and say, you know what, that's me. I really need to have a conversation with these guys. What are the other kind of symptoms that they would need your help?
So there's a couple common issues that come up. They all kind of fall into the same bucket. It's hey, we're paying too much. Hey, this is taking too long to get our product. Our supply chain is not flexible enough. Those are the three things that we hear the most often. And the answer is, for me, is always the same. It's our hybrid program. That's what it's there for. It's the low cost solution. It's the flexible solution. We can tailor it perfectly to whatever your needs are.
Love it. So Chad, let's start landing the plane here. What's your last question here? And then we'll get on to rapid
My last
fire.
question. What's a brand? It could be a customer, it could be a future customer that you really look up to in the industry, and what makes them stand out to you?
Like a restaurant coffee chain that's doing a really good job. What's your favorite, Jamie? Who do we go see a lot?
Honestly, whenever we travel, we try and we have customers all over the country. So wherever we go, we try and visit that customer. I would say, gosh, I liked a lot of our farm customers, meaning our apple orchards, our pumpkin patches. They are really down to earth people, and they know exactly what they want, and they're very excited that we can help them. There's not a lot of service in that industry to those customers, so they're very happy to be able to utilize our products.
All right.
Very cool.
It's time to land the plane with the rapid fire. I think I'm just going to pivot between instead of wait for one person to respond to the other. So I'll start with one, move to the other, and we'll bounce back and forth here. It's typically 6 questions. If it's too difficult, say pass. Shouldn't be that difficult. And so I'm going to start with Jamie, and then we'll move back and forth. And here we go. So, Jamie, favorite coffee or beverage to keep you going on long work days?
Boring. Water.
Water. Wow, that is boring.
No.
I warn you.
Ramsey, most unusual request you've ever received from a client?
That's a tough one. There is the most unusual. It's hard to pick just one. I would say some people, and we're fast, right? Budget Branders is fast. I've had people request same day. So, hey, I'm having this launch. We're having it at 4 p.m. Like, can you do these and over an item? Like, no, I can't. How is that possible? Who do you think could do that? Even with my magic wand, I wouldn't be able to do that.
Kinko's? No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know what they would do. I don't know how to do that one.
Here's some stickers. Have a nice day. Yeah, like really.
Yeah, even so.
Yeah.
How are you going to make a sticker in 4 hours? You know,
My
unless you
goodness.
got, I guess maybe you could 3D print some cups or something. I don't know.
That takes a long time too. That's
Yeah,
even longer.
Right? I don't know how you do it.
Wow. Jamie, and we talked about it a little bit, but I think it's slightly different. One restaurant you admire for their branding and why?
Restaurant.
Or chain or group, or but just, you know, who do you think's doing it really well and what do you like about it?
Boy, I would say I'm going to pick one of our customers if I can.
Yeah.
I'm going to say they're printing their cups today actually is Coffee Me and More. Previous owners sold, and the owners now have grown the business a lot. And it's just really cool to see someone that's been with us for years, you know, or keep ordering more and more and more and adding locations. And it's just really fun to see that from our customers.
Love it. Ramsey, if you could design a cup for any celebrity, who would it be?
Okay. That's a little bit of a trap question because we actually just did that. And I can't talk about it. I have it. That's NDAs. Dang, look at Jamie. She knows. It's a big one. It's a
Wow.
big one. You could argue the biggest, but so now that's all I'm thinking about. So we have designed a cup,
I'm just dying here.
right? Right.
Okay, so one that we can talk about that is fictitious yet and aspirational.
Okay. Well, we did a project previously for the New Orleans Saints football team.
Wow.
I really love that. I love the NFL, love sports. And so that's one that we have done. But somebody currently, what do you think, Jamie? If you could pick, if
It's tough because there is no other one besides the one that we're doing that we can't talk
too
about.
close.
Wow.
Too close.
There's no other. If that's the top, there is no other.
All right. I think we let that one go.
All right. I'm
Before we
to be
accidentally
continued.
put them
We'll
in
just say to
violation.
be continued. When you can announce that you're coming back on the show, we're going to talk about that. Right? Okay. Let's see. So that was on Ramsey. So Jamie, best business advice you've ever ignored but wish you hadn't.
Best business advice that I've ignored but wish I hadn't. We try and operate every day as servant leaders, and I don't ignore that, and that's great advice. And I don't, like I said, I don't ignore it, but some days when I'm not feeling it, I'm just like, I don't want to. But I have to get in my head, say, no, like I'm a servant leader and I'm doing this today.
Okay. And Ramsey, to close us out, one thing people would be surprised to learn about working in custom disposables.
I would say, let's see, the one thing that they'd be most surprised to learn about in working. These are really good. How'd you come up with these questions, Beck? These are good.
These are magical.
They are magical.
I'm asking the questions here, pal.
I'm stalling for time.
I know you are.
Yeah.
In the
stalling
Oscars, they
for
do
time.
this off stage. Stretch it out. Stretch it out.
Stretch it out. Yeah.
I think how easy it is, truly.
Really?
You think working in custom branding?
I mean, if you love it, yeah, I love
Yeah.
it.
I would say
She's
it's
comparing everything to the grease and the fryer.
I was
There is a
even
contrast
fryer
point I
grease.
think you made. Yeah, it's only up
Yes.
from there.
Yeah. People would be surprised to learn that you can go from cleaning deep fryers to running an international corporation in 5 years. So maybe that's the most surprising thing.
I think that's
it's not the
wonderful.
least surprising thing, but
Well, I think that's really just the entrepreneur's surprise that you can anything you set your mind to you can do, right? If you honestly truly believe it and believe in yourself and in your partner, there's nothing you can't do. I think that's a beautiful way to wrap that up. I love that.
yeah, well said.
Yeah. Well, you said it. Well, we're going to go ahead and land the plane. It's always such a joy to hang around you guys. Literally, my face does hurt right now because I've been smiling nonstop since I've been on here. To watch you guys together in person as a couple is such a treat. I wish more people treated each other as lovingly and respectfully as you guys do each other. It's completely authentic, and it's one of the reasons I wanted to work with you because I love the way you are together, and I think people, if they knew you, they'd root for you. In fact, I've said that in our conversations before. It's because people want people that are good to succeed and be and continue to grow and share that message. And I'm thankful to be part of it. I'm thankful to be here to help tell part of that story. For now, we're going to go ahead and wrap up this episode. And I want to thank the audience for being part of our community and joining in. And if you have any questions about what Jamie and Ramsey do over at Budget Branders, you can find them on LinkedIn. You can find them on their website, but go to LinkedIn. It's easier to access them and get information about what they do and communicate with them directly and ask the questions that you have. And also in closing, the thing that I really want to always hit home on is, especially in the world we live in today, random acts of kindness. Sprinkle that stuff everywhere. You never know whose day you're going to change, what face you're going to put a smile on, or just change that moment. Because just like what Jamie and Ramsey talked about here, you're one conversation, one smile, one moment, one interaction away from a completely different life. One little bump can set you off on a whole different trajectory, your day, your life, your week, whatever. So with that in mind, everybody have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.